This is Andrea Phillips, whose work is being featured at the Staten Island Museum. Ms. Phillips, do you have anything in general to say about your exhibition?
Being grateful, so grateful to see it up, because in my house it's too small, it's piled up, I can't really see it. This is a great opportunity and experience.
When were you first drawn to art?
I think when I realized that I could put pieces of material together and make things, that was my first, a light just went on. I wanted to make something for my son, and we didn't have much money. So my husband said, why don't you piece pieces together and make a jacket? So I said, okay. So I did, and it came out really nice. And that was the beginning. That really was the beginning. Yep.
What mediums do you work with? Well,
the reason they're called collage is because every one of them is cut out and pasted, right? Everything. At one time, long time ago, I used to look for things in magazines and stuff and cut them out. But now I make everything, almost everything. I make my own paper, paint my own colors and stuff, and then cut them out and glue them down. Like say, for the figures, I'll draw the figure and then make the clothes on the figure, trace it onto fabric, and cut it out like a paper doll. That's how I do the figures.
Is there any piece in particular that you'd like to talk about?
Buddha in the subway, because you never know among the homeless people or people in the street who is a sage, who is a saint, what's inside them. We judge by who has money, who has a big car, who's beautiful, who's this and that, all those things. But a homeless person could be a great being, and that's why I put Buddha in the subway, because Buddha left a palace to beg in the streets because he wanted to find out about life, and Jesus also was poor, and there were people like that. St. Francis gave up wealth and begged, so that's why you never know. You should respect everybody. Yeah, that's the story of this one.
Have any events in your life inspired some of your artworks?
I don't know if you would call it an event, but when I started yoga, from the first day I took yoga, I never stopped, and it helped me calm down. It helped me realize what's important and what's not important. What's inside me is more important than what's outside me, and then to just keep going within, that's meditation, and just to keep going within, and the peace and the beauty is within you. It's not out there, it's within you. That's why I say there's all emptiness. It's what's within you, not without. Even our bodies aren't important.
I love that painting or collage, yoga at Stone Harbor behind you. I think it's really inspiring to me because I draw at Stone Harbor, and I think the way the light is coming out of the person is really, really beautiful. And I wanted to know if Staten Island has inspired you, like just living on the island. Well,
I live down there. I live near there. I take a drawing class there. It's not a class, you just draw the model. And the grounds are beautiful, and you can find private spots. And this one is along Kissel. There's a brick wall.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, and there's the Montessori, like say, here's the brick wall, there's Kissel behind it, and then over here is a Montessori Playground. And when I used to do yoga in that space there, I used to see the little kids coming at 12 o'clock to be picked up, and I said, oh, I wish my granddaughter could go there. She was like maybe 2, and she goes there now. And they don't have the money to send her, but they got a grant, so she could go there. So that vision, my seeing her in that group, happened.
That's cool.
So things like that happen in yoga. Really, yoga, meditation, and going within. That's like really magic. It's like magic. Buddha. But I sit there too, and I like to identify. if you identify with something, you try to become it, and you will a little bit. So be careful who you admire.
Abstract pieces harder to make?
No, they're not harder to make. They're not easy, but they're like when you have an idea in mind, you have a focus, and it's like sane, what we call sane. But when I work on an abstract, it's like there are no boundaries. If I work on an abstract all day, I feel a little ungrounded, like, you know what I mean? Rather than when I'm working on something with images.
I noticed that a lot of them are just people, like, in everyday life. Is that something that inspires you? Just everyday.
You won't find anybody rich in these pictures. Yeah. No, you won't. And if they're well known, they were saints or homeless or like that. Kids in the street, like ghetto child. The downtrodden is really what moves me, not wealth or fame or beauty like that.
I'm an artist too, and whenever I make an artwork, I feel that it just comes to me. Mm-hmm. And whenever I do a work, I just do it at like any random time, and I can't ever force it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to force one of these paintings?
Yeah. I used to be like you when I was younger. Or actually, up until yoga, I was like you. I produced a lot of work, and it was good work. Not any better or worse than this work. But yoga gave me structure. Gave me structure, and doing things like when I get up, I do my meditation, breathing exercise, read. So my life is, I try to structure it, and then a certain time that I do art. But yeah, that's how I work. And I do have to force it. It's not really forcing it. You know what I do? I don't know if you want this in the film, but when I'm about to start something, I sit and ask for help, like in meditation and prayer. I say, "Oh Lord, help me," and I get right up and I start. Honest, that's what happens. Yeah, it works for me. I think if you're really doing your own work and you're not copying somebody, it just comes through. Just comes through, because we're all unique. Everybody here is unique and has something special, and it's great if you can find it and appreciate it. Because a lot of times you don't appreciate what you have. You're looking at someone else. It's best to develop your individuality. That's my advice.